Welcome to this C-SPAN Google Plus Hangout. We're joined by delegates from around the country who are here in Charlotte this week. Let's start with Mario Teran, who's from Boston. We're going to be hearing from a couple of Massachusetts speakers tonight here at the convention. What should we be listening for?
I think we should be listening for a lot of support for the Democratic Party, a lot of reiteration of the democratic values, a lot of energy, and a lot of reflection of some of the things that Massachusetts has done in terms of the health insurance area and how that reflects nationally. And I think you'll hear a lot of energy from the Massachusetts speakers.
And who are you looking forward to hearing tonight, Mario?
Joe Biden. I haven't heard him and haven't seen him in person, so I look forward to hearing from him.
All right, we'll go to Keri Lorenzo, who joined us earlier in the week for a Google Plus Hangout. Keri, you talked about being really excited to see Elizabeth Warren, also Congressman Barney Frank. Are you hearing other people share your enthusiasm?
Yes, especially since most of you have already seen that our governor killed it last night. It was amazing. He brought the house down. People were yelling and screaming and hooting and hollering. It was fabulous. So we feel so fortunate to be Massachusetts Democrats because we have like these incredible all-stars on our team. So tonight we have Elizabeth Warren and Barney Frank. And Barney Frank has this incredible way of stepping up to the podium, and when he does, Republicans flee because they know he is just going to slaughter. He is going to kill it tonight, and I'm so looking forward to it.
Mario, back to you for a minute because you were nodding your head as Keri was talking about Governor Deval Patrick. What did you like about his speech last night?
Every speech he does, he's a great speaker. I told him this personally. He gets the crowd fired up. He is not afraid to bring up the key points and hit the Republicans hard. So it's like he said, we must grow a backbone as a Democratic Party and stand up for what we feel is correct. And I feel he does a great job exemplifying that.
All right. Quiana McKenzie joining us. You're from Ames, Iowa, 26 years old, your first time at a convention. What's your experience been like so far, Quiana?
It's been absolutely amazing. I think I've dreamed of being at a convention my entire life, and like when I was elected as a district delegate, I was like, oh my God, I guess it's actually coming true for me. And to be here surrounded by all of these Democrats with all of this energy about our president, about our party, and about what we stand for and what America will look like with us in charge is just amazing. It's like the most exciting thing. And if I could just echo, Deval Patrick was amazing. And he actually came to our state convention in Iowa just a few months ago. And as he talks about what America, like what the Democrats stand for and how we need to tell the truth about who we are, it resonates so strongly with me, with Democrats across Iowa, and definitely here at the Democratic Convention. So I thought tonight was phenomenal. Last night was phenomenal, and I know that tonight will be phenomenal as well.
Now, there's been some question about how much sleep delegates actually get, Quiana. So when you said tonight, was that because you haven't gone to sleep yet from last night?
I got about 2.5 hours of sleep. I'm not going to lie. It's been hectic, but at the same time, I get so much energy from everyone else. Every time we have another amazing speaker who talks about our values, every time we have an amazing speaker who talks about the truth, it just makes me that much more excited to be here. You just sort of push through. And a Diet Coke never hurts either. So I think as long as I have those things around me, I'll be perfectly fine for the rest of the convention.
Cindy Circo, councilwoman in Kansas City, Missouri, also at your first convention. What has your experience been like so far?
It has been so exciting, and it is more than what I thought it would be. I have a huge contingency following on my Facebook and Twitter back home that really has a mix because we're nonpartisan. And I tweeted constantly the last 2 days, and people are just hungry for some information and some personal insight. So the feedback's been really great and positive. And, the couple of responses are, don't drink the Kool-Aid. And I don't call it Kool-Aid. It is about being with people that think like you. And the message of having a backbone is about time that us as Democrats, that we hear that. We're nice people. We're genuine people. We're real people. We don't want to fight. We don't want to bicker. We want to get along. But that doesn't always help us. And that message last night really resonated. For the first time in a long time, I felt I had a really clear understanding of why I belong to the Democratic Party.
Dylan Hayre from Massachusetts, what did you get from last night? I mean, Cindy's talking about the message really resonating with her, this idea of a backbone and standing up. What are you pulling from this so far?
Well, one thing I got from last night that was apparent from the outset was the incredible energy that Democrats bring to this convention. I watched the Republican convention last week on TV, and granted I was watching it on TV, but you just didn't get the sense that they were as enthusiastic or as energized or as organized behind their candidate the way we are. I mean, this is top to bottom, left to right. We are 100% behind Barack Obama, and to have people screaming and shouting and standing on their feet for most of the night. I stood more than I sat last night, and I was definitely tearing up at several different moments just to see everyone in that room clapping and applauding together. The energy was amazing. It was motivating and inspiring, and I'm glad everyone in the nation got to see that so they can see what we're going to bring to the table come this November and see how hard we're willing to fight for this.
Cindy Circo, you talked about using Facebook and social media. What kinds of messages are you sharing with people? Are you sending out pictures? Are you tweeting? And how different does that make an experience like this when you've got a following?
Actually, it's been really great because you get to put your message out, those pieces of the speech that you feel like are really resonating. And you know people are home or watching television, but that feedback that you're getting, and they want to feel the experience. I had them asking me questions. They're like, what is it like? Is it loud? Are people standing? So it's been really exciting to feel like I have this connection back home and spreading the message. That's what delegates come here for, to get excited, to get pumped up, and to go back home and get people excited and pumped up. And I feel like I have the ability with social media to do it instantly and do it right now. And that's what's exciting about it.
Quiana, how about you? How are you using social media to connect with people back home and also just around the country?
Well, I love to spout out about how I feel. So I use Twitter and Facebook constantly. And for me, my sharing the experience on Facebook and Twitter has really been about showing the people who invested and helped me to get here today how much I appreciate it, and then sharing that experience with them as well. So I've tweeted pictures with everyone that I've taken pictures with. I've tweeted different pieces of speeches. I was taking pictures of literally everything that I could, and everyone is just so excited. They're all writing on my Facebook wall. They're all tweeting things. They're all retweeting things. So I know that the message that we're trying to get out this week is getting out there. And it makes me incredibly happy that some of my friends who don't watch the news at all have been watching mostly just to see me on television. But at the same time, they're still getting the message about what the Democratic Party stands for and where we need to go after the November election. So it has been amazing.
And Keri Lorenzo, the First Lady's speech last night, highlights from it. Did it bring what you wanted? Did it accomplish what you wanted her to be able to do?
I think this established her as one of our greatest First Ladies of all time. She is so incredibly intelligent and so emotional. And what strikes a chord with me is the fact that she's a working mom. She's just like me. She cares about her family. She cares about her kids. She's worried about her husband, and she's worried about her country. And that strikes a chord with so many women across this nation because, that's why we're involved in politics. I don't get involved in politics because I have gobs of extra time. I've got 2 kids and one on the way. I don't have gobs of extra time, but I don't have time to lose. So the message that Michelle brought us last night, talking about how important it is for all of us to get engaged, how we all have an obligation to one another. We have an obligation to our kids in the future. I mean, it was incredibly inspiring. And seeing how emotional she is and how genuine she is, and, how their family, they think about this country and how they care about this country, it was incredible. I cried. And, everybody around me was crying. It was just an incredible moment. And social media, bringing that up. I mean, my Facebook and Twitter exploded from people who don't usually talk politics with me, just saying, oh, my God, she's incredible. So I think it was a moment in history for all of us. And I was just over the moon to actually be there for it.
We're seeing a new poll out, ABC News, Washington Post, looking at the favorability of President Obama, and it says that his popularity has dipped, and candidate Romney's gotten a bit of a favorability bounce. And this is a bit of a twist now. President Obama's favorability rating is actually doing a little better among men than women, which we haven't seen really before. Cindy Circo, does that concern you as a woman, as a Democrat? Where do you go with that information?
Well, I think that we'll get there. I think, Michelle did an amazing job last night connecting with women of America, that we have all the same issues that she's had, the same concerns, and we felt it, and that resonates to her husband. I'm from Missouri. We have Aiken. It is the comments that he has made is just beyond belief. My 23-year-old son, called me up and he said, "Mom, I'm offended." So where do we go if you're not for President Obama? Where do you go with those types of conversations that are coming from the right? I'm a mother. I'm a woman. I'm intelligent. I am leading my own city, and I can make decisions for myself. And I want a president that allows me to do that.
Dylan, what do you think? We'll throw that question to you. Are you concerned about the favorability and unfavorability ratings? And what does the president need to leave this convention having accomplished?
As far as the polling, I'm not too concerned about that. Listen, there's 60 days left to go between now and Election Day. And on one hand, that's not a lot of time. We got to get to work, and we will get to work. We have been working hard up to this point. But on the other hand, there's going to be so many polls between now and then, between ups and downs, different groups, how they rate this guy or that guy, or this speech or that speech. And we just need to maintain focus. Listen, we need to win every demographic, and we will. And we're going to win on our record, on the truth, and on the facts you hear at this convention. So I'm not concerned about it. I hope people stay tuned to this convention, hear the speakers we have coming up, and hear the speaker that we have on Thursday, our president, as he lets the nation know what his plan is for moving forward. Now, as far as your second question, what I think he needs to accomplish this week, I'd like to hear him fire back at the Republicans for some of the misinformation they handed out last week at their convention. This convention is going to be based on strong leadership and making tough decisions, like this president has done and like he's going to continue to do. And I think if he's able to demonstrate to the nation, like he has to all of us for the last 4 years, that he is going to continue to make hard decisions. He's going to continue to fight for every one of us. And he will be our president for the next 4 years, standing by our side. I think if he can get that message out, and I'm confident that he will, we're going to have a great ride here in November. It's going to be a lot of hard work, but we will reelect the president.
And Mario, tell us, where are you talking to us from?
Right outside my hotel at the Omni Hotel here in Charlotte.
Okay, great. What brought you to the convention? I mean, why are you a delegate? What's your personal story that brought you here?
Well, I'm a delegate because I want to support the president, and I feel this is a very, very important election. It's an election where there's a lot of high stakes of how do you want this country run? Whether you want somebody who is supportive of the wealthy, or you want somebody who wants to put everybody playing on the same playing field. So I think it's a very important election for me as somebody who was not born here, who immigrated here at a young age. Being a delegate is a way to get back, and participating in this process. It's also for me a way to become more connected to the party and interact with folks who share the same passions and values that I do, and work together for a common goal.
All right, let's throw that question to Quiana. You talked about some of your political views, but what's your personal story about getting here? Why are you here? And what makes you what helped you get here versus, say, one of your friends or colleagues back home?
Okay, I think my mic's on now.
Yeah, you're good.
I definitely think it's the good people of Iowa. I grew up in Illinois, and we all know that Illinois politics can be a little interesting. And so sometimes it felt very discouraging because you knew what the Democratic Party stood for, but you also heard all of these terrible things about what was going on And so when I moved to Iowa for graduate school, I really got a chance to get involved with more Democrats in Iowa. The Story County Democrats completely adopted me and really brought me into the fold. And they really just sort of infused this new love for public service, this new love for community into me. And so when we were getting ready to go to the caucus, when we were getting ready to go to the district and the state convention, I just felt such energy, and it drove me to say, hey, I want to go to the Democratic National Convention. I want to be a part of this. I want to make sure that everybody understands what's at stake here. I want to make sure everybody knows the truth about what's going on, knows the truth about where our country has come from, where our country is going, and the truth that the untruths that other people are telling about us and our party. And so, like, I am completely honored that the people of Iowa chose me to be a delegate. I'm honored that they trust me with this duty to come out and learn more so that I can go back to the community and get people like Steve King out and reelect President Barack Obama.
And Keri Lorenzo, you've actually been to conventions before as a journalist, but this is your first time as a delegate. Has that transition been strange for you?
It's so awesome. It is so cool to be a delegate, I have to say. And just kind of piggybacking on what she just said, we have to be mindful of the fact that, you know, becoming a delegate is more than just coming and hanging out with your friends. You know, we are elected to represent thousands of Democrats across our state. I'm an at-large delegate. I was actually elected through the state party process. And so I try to be very mindful of the fact that, you know, I'm coming here to represent people in my community, people in my state. So it's a tremendous honor to be here. And it restores your fight, because a lot of us are people who volunteer 25, 30 hours a week, running phone banks, running canvases, going door to door, talking to people. And it's a tremendous honor, and it's something that we're mindful of. But in terms of my transition from being a journalist to a delegate, there is nothing cooler than sitting in the middle of the Massachusetts delegation and sitting with Barney Frank and Jim McGovern and Deval Patrick and Mike Dukakis and all of these incredible, you know, heroes that we've always admired as Democrats. And just so much pride comes from that, and it fires you up, and it gets you excited about what's to come.
And Dylan, you're also from Massachusetts. Give us some perspective on this experience a couple of days in. Since we did talk to you on Monday, Quiana admitted that she's only slept a couple of hours. It sounds like you've been pretty busy around the clock too. Just give us all a sense, who aren't delegates, what this experience is like.
Sure. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. I come from a town, like I said, called Natick, Massachusetts. It's a pretty big town, 30,000 people plus, but it's got a nice rural feel to it. And to be from that town and to represent that town and that community here at the convention is such an absolute honor to be a part of that community, now to be here. But part of that means, like we were just saying, keeping busy and getting to work and making sure that before the convention we're talking to folks, during the convention we're talking to folks and cheering people on. But after the convention, you know, we're out there, we're talking to other delegates, we're meeting some of the folks who are here from other states and letting them know about our experience here in Massachusetts. And then the other half of that is just enjoying the city. I mean, Charlotte has been an absolutely amazing host for this convention. They're so hospitable. Everyone here is just great. The food here is fantastic. The restaurants here are all amazing. And so it's been nice to sort of hang out at the various places around here. And yeah, you know, you don't get a whole lot of sleep, but that's the trade-off. That's what you ask for if you come to this thing. And but I wouldn't trade this for anything in the world. And if I can stay up till the wee hours in the morning talking to some of my friends from Massachusetts and some of my new friends from across the country over a couple of drinks, then we will do that every single night, because it's just such an honor to be here and represent my town and my community.
And Cindy Circo, councilwoman in Kansas City, Missouri, you know, some of our other guests here have talked about what it's like to represent a community back home. Well, you certainly do that on a daily basis through your service on the city council. What has surprised you about being a delegate here? What's different about this experience than what you do back home?
Well, I don't know. I am in a unique position where I get to interact with all kinds of people every day with different types of backgrounds and different issues. And really that's what I'm experiencing with the delegates, the diversity of people here and their backgrounds and where they come from and what their personal issue is to bring them here is all different. And so that's the connection between what I get to do on a daily basis. But but I think if you've never been a delegate, everyone tells you about, the lack of sleep, the continuation that it goes, from morning to the next morning. You can hear that, but until you experience it, it's just bigger than what you can imagine. And you don't want to go to your room and go to bed. There's always one more conversation, one more person that you're going with me. Walking on the streets last night, I see people that are just still out enjoying the camaraderie. 3 hours in the morning and having great in-depth conversations about general life, not just about democratic values, but getting to know each other. So it's been really fun, really exciting. My speech to my state delegation, I'm also at-large delegate. But, I'm a cradle Democrat. I'm third generation of an elected official from my family. But right now, I'm choosing to be a Democrat. I think that's what you're seeing here in the streets and in the caucuses. Those people that have said it's time for us to choose this for ourselves and not just let it happen. It's been exciting.
All right. Well, Cindy, Dylan, Keri, Quiana, Mario, thank you so much to all of you for joining us on this Google Plus Hangout. We look forward to checking back in with you as the week goes on.
Thank you, Libby. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.